let's get started, my friend, to the Vectorized 5G channel. I'm John Silva, and welcome. So, let me know if you guys can hear me, okay? Okay, what we're gonna talk today is gonna be the first time about animations for the first time ever. Let me show you a little bit about the topics. Hold on. Whoa. Here we go. Guys, this is the topic that we're gonna discuss, right, for today. For the very first time on the internet, I'm gonna talk about animations. And if you don't know what is animations and what I know with animations, I'm gonna show you right now. Hold on. Let me just fix my audio. I think now I can hear me well. Guys, this is a Spine Pro, alright, animation. It is where I have most experience, and I will play here this animation so you can see how this can be, represented. So I made this using Spine. Of course, I will explain more soon as we talk about. And let me say a big hello to everyone that's joining us. Hello, Velatic. Awesome. Welcome. So animations are tricky, because you don't only animate, but you need to create the elements, you need to create the visuals. And basically it's the motion. Imagine I have here this hand, and this hand is doing nothing, but if I start to do this, there is a motion, there is a life. This is what animation is about. And here I'm going to explain about the Rive animation, alright, and in a couple of seconds. Oh no, the Rive. What is Rive animation? Which is related to this guy over here. Basically, Rive is an app. It's a kind of new app. They are always growing, but essentially, look what you can do in Rive. You can do animations in vector, essentially. Let me switch here to this screen. So if I play this animation, look what you can do. You can do a vector based animation like this. Look how nice it is. It's very clean, very stylized. In comparison to what Spine does, Spine doesn't work in vector. It's all in bitmap, JPEG, PNG, all images. There's no vector deformations. There are pro and cons regarding these two apps, right? I got many jobs in terms of working animations, like this one here. I made a huge project where there are characters, and then they have animations, doing things in games, So it is crazy because you need to have all the system that's called rig in order to move the bones. But we're gonna cover more as we progress on here. Alright, let me back to Rive. How many of you have heard about Rive? Let me know on the chat. I've been following them, a big time ago when they started this company, and since then they are very growing. There are professional apps like Duolingo. I found people on Duolingo trying to find people to work as Rive animator. And what makes Rive good, it is the optimization of playing these animations in websites. You can have, for example, your website animated, motion graphics. There are projects on the community. If you join here, rive.app community, you can find many people sharing their work. There is a guy that it's fantastic, which is he's called GC Tone. I don't know if you can find. I think that's better to find on Google. GC Tone Rive. I think it's gonna lead to his page specifically. He's now, I think, working with as a Rive animator, because I remember when Rive was starting, he was doing a lot of designs with Rive, and there is many things that you can do, essentially, like work in game industry, UI industry, many things as you can see here, you know. And yeah, you know, there are many possibilities that you can do for, oh look, this one is one of my favorite too. Look, can you see? Let's see here. Yeah, that's incredible that some of you now can meet this opportunity as well. All right, because it's a different stuff, you know, regard, let's say, what Affinity can do, or also what Blender can do, because this is exclusively for 2D animation. So if I scroll down here, we can see many works that he did to simulate motion, you know. Oh, it is really incredible. Mainly for UI, user interface users. And let's talk here about some topics just that you can understand. So essentially, Spine Pro, it is dedicated in bitmap, right? So you cannot do, can't, you know, do in vector. Oops, let me misclick here. Can't do in vector, you know. However, there is one pro side of the Spine, is that it's just one payment. You pay one time and it's yours. And on the other hand, the Rive, it's subscription based system, you know. I think that it's cost something like, if you talk about pricing already, it's cost, it's not very cheap, depend of course, but I think it's $24 per month. But as I think, if you work professionally, this is nothing. Like if you pay this app and earn money with that, it can paid by itself. So it's an investment. But of course, for hobbyists, can be a bit kind of expensive. Even here in Brazil, you know, my exchange currency, it's this is kind of expensive. But there is free, alright? There's free, but you only can have 3 files per time, alright? And yeah, you anyway you can use the free version. But as I think that if the app is growing, if they are bringing resources, it's awesome. But let me open here as well. Oh, there is other things that you can do, such as, let me show you in this example. This is the interface, alright, where I'm gonna explain more. But essentially, what you can do in Rive, it is to build the shapes, as always. Hey, Angela Sanderson, welcome. And then you can select these things that's called bones, and these bones you can rotate and make the character move the head to front to back, you know. So the ability to do this, you know, the ability to do this is related to how you move that muscle. You know, the muscle that you have in your arm. It's basically your bone that it is having also that move. What does three files at a time mean? It means that you can only have 3 files, you know, in the as free user. You cannot create more than 3 files, you know. So when I was using as free version, because now I'm pro version, I've paid, and it means that you only can have 3 files, 3 projects essentially. And if you want to create new ones, you need to go and make it in trash. Let's say you need to delete. I have some couple of projects that I made in the past using Rive, and yeah, basically it's a kind of, you know, limitation that they add just to, you know, sign up. Okay, let me see here. I hope that I answered your question. But let's do here a quick animation sample. So to join this, first of all, you must create a new document. So here it is the editor interface, which is the home screen. Remember, Rive, it is based in web browser. However, it is also in desktop. All right. but I honestly feel like the desktop version is too buggy, and I'll explain you why. Because it is still in beta version. If you take a look on here on top, it is in beta. It's not a final release yet. And I'll tell you, this app may crash a lot. This can have some bugs, but it is kind of still getting better. It's still doing great job. And if the companies are starting to use, which is means that it's good. And I'll create here a new project from scratch, so you see how that works. In this plus icon here, I'll click. Rive is gonna ask me what I want to start. I can start with a template that it is here, but I want to do from scratch. I will start with a blank artboard, and I can determine here the size by height and width. So let's do this in 1000 to 1000. I'll click in this to lock, and okay, 1000 pixels by width and size. The first thing that you understand here, it is the interface. It is not daunting. It is awesome, really simple interface. It is not something crazy like Blender, you know, or these apps. It is very intuitive, by the way. It's really intuitive. And to talk about the interface, here how it consists. We have very few options of the things that it is displaying here. First, we have the tools of the transform tools like select, translate, rotate, and scale. These are the tools that we use to do things like this. Let's say that you want to add a shape. Okay, you want to add a shape. If I go here in this tool, you see rectangle, ellipse, triangle, and the very fundamental steps. And then I will just go here and rectangle. I will click insert rectangle like we would normally do using affinity, let's say. So I have here this rectangle, and what we can do with these tools is this. We can select, we can it's called translate, but it's kind of move, you know. You can rotate. If I click here, rotate, you can scale. Instead of going always to these options, these shortcuts, you also can use shortcuts V, key, W, and E. These tools here, basically, it's gonna make your life easier in terms of shortcuts. You can rotate by shortcuts. So take a look on here, you know, and if you want to play with it, just apply. Okay, so we have inserted this shape, so you can see I'm going to rotate this back. In this part here of hierarchy, it's called the layer system. How the layer system works: we have the artboard, all right, the artboard here, the same like we have in Affinity. You can create multiple artboard like this, all right. You can do this and create more. So you can have multiple projects at the same project. This is, I would recommend for free users to try and learn and apply in one project instead of spending your 3 limits, you know, files. So Tick is asking, could you save the project being the open project and start another? It saves automatically, you know. It saves always automatically. It's a kind of synchronizer to the web, I'd say. So if I get back here, so you don't need to save, it's always save automatically. It's synchronized with the browser, you know, I'd say. Does it make sense? So you can switch between projects. So it's an app. It's a normal app that you can do many things. Essentially standard. Here on the hierarchy, I always struggle to pronounce some words in English. We have the rectangle being placed right here, alright? And to change this color, you can now see the panels. The panels is located in this area. Let me just enable my mouse cursor here. I think it's gonna be better. Yeah, I think it's better now. Here I can basically change the properties. I can change the position to X. You can see if I click here, Y. Of course, there is no Z because this is fully in 2D. It's not 3D app. Also, we have the scale of this primitive. You can change over here, rotation. So this is a manual way to change the transform. Also, we have the path. The path, it is related to the vector by itself. I will explain you soon. Here we have the layers system, like the blend mode, you know. You can just change this layer like to multiply. Imagine, you know, the multiply is very used for making shadows. Let's make a nice thing here for now. I'm going to select the ellipse, make this ellipse, and then I will make this as, can be something like this, yellow. I will duplicate, Command D. It's very similar to others. I will make this kind of white here, and then in the layer that I'm selecting, ellipse, right, you can now change this to kind of screen or overlay. Can you see? Also here is it is the blending mode of the color and the opacity. Here it is the opacity. Below it is the color. Fills, can you see fills? So it's quite different from what we are used to, let's say, to do in Affinity. If we open here on Affinity, so the Affinity delivers a screen with a lot of stuff happening, but this app is more minimal. It's more simple, you know. I will answer the questions quite soon. Hold on, just to finish this explanation. And here, just to show you, we can hide this layer by these eyes. We can add strokes. But what about strokes, John? Yeah, you can add strokes by click on here. Let me go. I need to open. I've added 2 strokes. I can change on here. It's very similar to, let me change as well this one below. Yeah, this is one below that I want to change. I'm gonna increase, make this black. Here we go. So as you can see, I can deform the shapes as normally we would do using Affinity. So I have 2 objects, as you can see, and here we can group them. If you press Control, in my case Command G, I can group them, and then they will become one group, one type of object. Let's call this as object. And this object contains 2 ellipses. Okay, one, it is this one. Let's say that this is a sort of eyes. We can think like this. Let me make this in white. This one here is gonna be in blue. Fill. It is in the layer overlay. Let me make this normal for now. Let's say that this is an eyes, and I'll duplicate again, resize, make this as can be black. I will remove now the outlines, which is the strokes. If you click right click, you can delete, you know. And let me change here the height of it, something like this. I'll duplicate again just to add now this eyes shape, like here, white. Very good. So essentially what I did, it is to play with shapes. I've played with 4 ellipses, as you can see, and I assume for some users it's a bit difficult to control these transforms, because sometimes you can just use the transform tool here, you know, the select, and then you can click in the corners and resize. You know, you can do a lot of standard stuff. But as you see here, if I click, it's going to select the group. Alright, it has selected the group that's called object. If I click one time, if I click twice, it's gonna select the object that I pointed my cursor. Let's say again, one click, group, two clicks towards the object. Let's say I want to select the white highlight. Click twice, it's gonna select this one. So fundamentally, what you are seeing at this moment, it is exactly the functions about doing the shapes and transform it. Is it easy? I mean, in terms of the way that I'm explaining, are you understanding for now? Questions, please. Let me see. Can I say? I think Tick is asking if you can save and export a project, delete in the app, and restart a new one. Yes, you can. This is what I did when I was in free, user as free user. I was doing a project, exported, and it was in trash. Let's say project, it was in trash here, this part, and then I was starting a new one from scratch. So yeah, I was doing this because I was learning yet, but again, you only can consider to pay if you have uh, let's say a will to play more with it. Okay, getting back on here, let me open back. Okay, can you see it saved it automatically. I didn't hit any kind of button. It synchronized it with the cloud. And as you can see, this is related to the part that it is more creations. It is the design screen. Everything that we did so far, it is related exclusively to the design part. It is nothing related yet with the animation. Okay, because first you need to have the shapes, and then you can animate. And the good note about this, let me tell you, you can create inside Affinity, and then you can export to Rive as SVG, which is a vector file app. In terms of, it's a vector file basically. Okay, and of course there are more advanced stuffs related to the clipping, which I'm not going to explain right now because it's going to to be too much to process. I'm going to cover what is more relevant for now. And a showcase before we talk about animation, all right? Because I think what's nice here about using this app, it is essentially the animation functionalities, all right? I will cover right now. I made a project, very prototype project, that's called the prototype character. It's very fun. It is really, really fun. As you can see, I have here this, kind of, I don't know how to call this. Give me the name of this guy here, please. On the chat, I wanna see the name that you see. I can call him. Let's call him as Jared. Jared. This is our Jared guy, and I made this in this design over this panel, as you see. And on the animate screen, look at this. I make he doing a kind of mining animation. I will display here right now. So he is kind of mining a little bit. It is very, very, very simple, guys. Very simple. There are just few movements here regarding it, the way that he rotates. Yeah, he's called Jared. I don't know why. The bean is fine. Sam Sam's too realistic. It's too professional. So we have the Jared here, or the Bean, Mr. Bean. And here there is a bone. All right, there is a bone that I made. This is what makes Rive nice. So you have a bone that if you move this bone and rotate, it's gonna rotate other elements like this. Tuk, tuk, tuk. And the nice thing is that during this animation, let me create a new one here just from scratch so you can see timeline. So if I move this bone, let's say that I go here, select this, and then I move top, and then here there is a timeline. Let me hide myself because I'm going to be placed right here. I think it's better. Whoa, I think it's the best position that I can stay, or here. I don't know. I don't want to bother the view. In this bone, I address the position that I want that it's going to interpolate. In animations like this, we call interpolation, like the first position here, the second position to top behind like this, and the third position like back to here. This is called keyframe. Can you see these dots, small dots? It's called keyframe. It's going to address in the system based in what you input. I'm going to play right now. Press enter space, and then it's gonna do this. Can you see? There is a function that's called loop. It's going to kind of replay this seamlessly. It's not going. I don't need to hit space always. I just hit space one time, and it's going to. Can you see? Repeat. But there's a thing here with the timeline. All right. So can you see here this part? It is the length of the duration. If I click here, I can make this to kind of. I'm thinking about a few seconds, like 40 milliseconds, maybe. Let's try. Now it's better in terms of, timing. But it's too rigid, You can see it's kind very robots. There's no line curve. That's why we go now, and if you click in this node, can you see my side here? There is a interpolation curve. I don't know if you guys are familiar with something like this in animation, video editing, but there are. Let me see if I can find here the animation principle. There is a GIF very nice. I want to see if I can find. It is really nice. GIF that it is related to. I found it. I think I really found it here. It is really nice. Hold on, because I'm trying to open this. I found it. Can you see here my screen? I want to zoom more this a bit more better. This is the 10 principles of motion design. I know that this is very different from what I'm used to do, but you know what? I'm here to explore. I'm here to teach things new. In animations, we have the time, of course, and we have these interpolations. These interpolations means one position onto another position. So here you can see the way that these circles move, like arc. They kind of have this bounce effect. But to make this to be more smooth, we call this as curve. This curve is known as is in, is out. For now, it's in linear. If you take a look, it's very rigid. You can see very triangular. But if I click here in this key, and let me just change this for now as curve. Look now the movement that he would do. We're gonna have now a curve. Can you see? I will place here the curve. Now it's a little less rigid. So if you want to do this, look what's gonna do. It's more delayed here. There is a timing here. Okay, see. Also, as you can see, this part of the bone, it's very rigid. It's moving only just one. This is making a bit stiff, very rigid, like body rigid. To make this a bit more organic, we would rotate this a bit more. I'm using this as example just to give you an introduction, right? We're not going to make something crazy here. You will not do something for portfolio for today. We will not get a job today to work with this immediately. It's just something simple. If we rotate this part right now, I need to make sure that these two objects is attached. It is inside, of this bone here. Because now if I move, it's gonna move there. Which is what I want. And then I can click in the timeline and move, and I can see frame to frame between here. Years ago, just to give you this introduction as well, years ago, the Mickey Mouse, the Disney, guy, years ago, it needs to do frame to frame. Let me see, drawing, animation. Let me see if I can find some references. Years ago, guys, it was kind of like this. Of course, there are some traditional ways to make animations, but before, it was something more like this. Let me show you in a photo. Try to open image. Okay, like this. So years ago, it was more like that, frame to frame. Imagine you redraw everything frame to frame every single time, making like the procreate drawing. Procreate drawing is based in that, but also there are some few interpolations. I got the procreate drawing and I didn't like so much. There are not the same tools like in procreate, so I ended deleting. And here, just I'm showing you this because it's important that you understand about why we don't need to redraw everything like that. It's because the interpolation grabs one position onto the next position, and it's creates this interval like that. Make sense? And here I'm going to make this. I'm moving here. I will rotate this part to be. I like to do this. Select the bone, go to the rotate by pressing W, and then I can rotate like this. Okay, so before look, it is applying, but I need to do the interval like that. For now, I will make here going more back. Let's see what's gonna happen now. Tuk. Let's play now. Tuk. Now, look. Now, can you see the arms? There is a more movement. There is a kind of, it's called EK constraint. I'm not doing this at this moment, but I made this very manually. The arms having this tuk, tuk, tuk. What I like a lot in animations, it is the emotion. It's more fun to work, really fun. A lot hard work, but it's fun. I have an example to share soon, but let me try to grab for a sec about the animation that I made. Hold on. But it was a bit frame to frame and also interpolation. I will show you right now. Hold on. This one. Look. Two. This animation I made in Adobe Animate to make this frame to frame, because Affinity doesn't provide us a way to animate. It was very nice. Good morning, and then the character jumping inside of the coffee. Also, this one here, very simple one. The zoom looking down, like. The Harry Potter frames. So it was something like that. Oops, I'm too small here. I think it's better. This one was very fun. Woo. Animation is very fun. I do a lot behind the screen. It's first time that I'm showing more about this matter. Let me see here. Rogério. Rogério. I have a brother that's called Rogério. Rogério. But animation is very fun. Anyway. And this is Nice, well said, Tick. When we talk about bones, this go to something a bit deeper. It's called rigging. Rigging, it's when you have a bone and you have assets attached to that bone, like this. In games, 3D games, we have this a lot. 3D games, rigging, it's crazy. We have big teams just to do that. It is extremely. If you if you feel like this is so much in terms of capabilities, is that if you meet professionals like people that work in the 3D industry, they have a lot of motion capture going on in order to do that. I really like the animation part, the production, but it's crazy insane. You have to study your ear, your entire life to get really advanced to it because it's too much. There's too many things that you need to learn. But this is about rigging. But in 2D, it's easier. It's simple. If I show you again here, there are some bones, not too many, but compared to 3D. But if I move here, this part, it's gonna change the wings. And there are many things behind. Like the mesh system that's gonna distort the image. Like, can you see? It's just if I move this bone, it's gonna distort that image. This is happening because of the thing that's called rigging. If I want to make this wing change the position, it's gonna do that. And honestly, this is one of the fields that it's, I assume, right, from my experience, right now, it is a well-paid job. I will tell you why. First, because it's almost nobody in the world wants to do that. It's hard to find good people that makes professionally this, and you know there is since there is few people that do this job, it's well paid. There is much offer for high demand, or low offer, not low offer, because I get confused about the offer and demand sometimes. And I hope that makes sense. Another app that has really good bunny rigging for 2D. Akin is saying another app that has really good bunny rigging for 2D vector is Moho 14. I was making a research about Moho. It is nice. There is also Toon, which is the most standard thing. All right. And if you take a look over what industry offer us, there is a lot, but it takes really a lot time to get used to learn this. You need to invest a good time. Getting back on here in our Jared guy, what I want to get back into the exponential here where we were. I always like to have this soft way to speak in terms of nothing crazy. Ah, nice. Marco Di Mario. Hi, John. I didn't know how the software. Thanks for this video. Very cool. Yeah, I really appreciate. Really appreciate. It's nice to share things that you guys can do. And here we have the interpolation that I said before. It's the way that the curve is happening. And remember that we were doing this guy here, the eyes. So to move these eyes, like looking up and down, it's gonna be easy. We have these 4 layers, all right, as you see, but I suggest you to create a group of them, like this part here, these ones here. I'm gonna make a group. Select Command G or Control G. Now it's a group, and also you can use this clip. And look at this. Again, I group it, and when I group it, I got this clip option, and then I target my eyes ball here, the white one, and now there's a clipping happening on here, as you see. like this. Good. And let's do a quick animation. After you finish your design, all right, let me just see if I'm hiding this screen. Animate screen. This screen, it is dedicated for animations. All right. First, you must create a timeline. Here in this part, you have the timeline. All right, timeline. And then you have your timeline that's got 1 second duration. Just for now, let's place this to be 2 seconds duration. Just for now. Okay. And here we have the timeline. You can zoom out. As many duration you add here is gonna increase the timeline. Okay, like this. Let's move this. I don't want to take your time. I want to use as much better as I can. So we have here this group, and can you see here these dots? This is called keyframe. These keyframes, if I move here, let's say start here, like this, it's gonna add a keyframe automatically over this position. If I move now my mouse towards until 1 second and move this down, look, like this. If I hit space to play, look what's gonna happen. Here. It moves. It moves here. And I'm going to apply the loop. Like this. Actually, you can use this on a website. You don't need to have this app in, let's say, as downloadable app. Actually, even on your mobile phone you can do this, because it's a website based app. You don't need to have a kind of app to do that. You can use your iPad, but using browser. Here it's moving, can you see this interpolation from top to bottom, and I want to move this to the middle, like this. It's added automatically based in my movement. I'll hit space, it's moving. Can you see? Nice. There are some controllers over here, alright, like graph editor that you can just use here. If I open, remember the way that I move it, it was very kind of linear, which is very stiff, very robotic. So if we go here and click in this interpolation, you can see that I changed it over here. Let me move myself to this position. So this interpolation is gonna make the eyes raising more smooth. Look, now it's better. Look, this part it's very stiff yet. I will select the first frame and click in this position, and look at this now. Look at this. We're gonna have a smooth animation. One thing that's nice, it is to do this. You're gonna copy the first frame, copy, and paste on here. And then look what's gonna happen. Huh? My friend! I need to give you a name. Anime. And not anime. Anime Rise. Anime Rise. Anime Rise. I think so. Nice, isn't it? This makes huge difference in your animation. If we don't have that, you would look very stiff, very unnatural. It's gonna be not very cool. And I'm completely sure that these animators in 3D, they do a lot of this kind of interpolations. Like the character making very squashy, like a jelly movement. Because of the way that they make the design more with life. As example, Moana, one of my favorites as well, movie from Disney. if you take a look here, they are very intense animated. You know, this, you can see the expression. They will not be very kind of mirrored, idle like me. No, and with more expression we add, it's better. And let's talk about the vector part here to finish this, because it's getting nice to cover something new. I'm a guy that love to explain, you know, to teach things new. Let's apply here one of the last thing before I go. We have the group called object, where we can, you know, move as well. If I change its position over here, let me back to the timeline like that. I can move the eyes like this. Look, huh? But I will not leave it like this. Just show you that you can animate, separate this stuff. There is the eyes. Let's call this as eyes. Everything is eyes here. Eyes, center, better. And another thing, before I forget, let's talk about the vector part. The vector part, it is here. A bit tricky, but let me show you why it's tricky. Come down, my friend. Because we added, oh, I'm here, this part. We have added, pay attention, my friend. We have added the shapes. However, we could add and make this as editable. If you click enter, it's gonna open the ellipse. I'm gonna select the white one, this one here, right? This one here. I'll select this. If I hit enter, your keyboard is gonna open a layer called path. This layer called path, if you hit enter again, is going to do this. Convert custom to path. Do you know what this means? I hope so, because it's related very to what vector in Affinity does. If you create a shape, cube, you can convert and change as free form. Free form means this. Now it is not ellipse anymore. You can change. The nice thing about this, I made the eyes like this, really cool. Let me remove the outline. It is not clipping. I don't know why. Should be a bug. Hold on. Just I'm gonna remove the stroke, delete and delete. Better. On the other hand, it's not clipping, you know, in the middle. I think that I need to report to the Rive. This is something that it shouldn't happen. You know, it should clip like I want. Here we go. The path, if I go and hit enter, you can move this and make the character look like this. Okay, freeform, curves, animate. Here we go to a very nice thing, which is the main idea of doing this live. Let's talk about vector animation. So we have the shape, and we need to start with a position. All right, key all vertices by clicking on here. I'm not, I know, a guy very pro in this app. I'm still learning, but I'm teaching what I know. Being honest with you. I've just moved this to here, you know, the timeline, click and drag, and I'm gonna move this node specific onto here, like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna get back and open this again, like this. Here. Let's see now. I've just changed the position and the timeline. Let's see now. If I hit space for preview, remember space to play. Look at the eyes now, it's moving. Nice. But what I suggest, you can see that when it gets into the end, it's kind of have this very drastic replay. That's why I usually like to do this. I copy the first frame and paste into the last position, and then we have a better system. Does that make sense? I hope so. Tell me. I'm going to move this a bit down like this. This part here. Now look more natural. Still, I can change this, all these curves. Let me see if I can select all of these and click here. Yes, I can. Select this, select all of this, and change the curve. Let's try. Space. Whoa, very nice. Very nice. Really like this. This one, I think it's getting a bit too... I'll select the path, hit enter, go to edit mode. Let me see here. This one, I need to copy this and paste here. Hit space. Really cool. Really cool. If we now, since I'm here already, let's do something nice. I want to add a character behind, kind of, design mode. Let's add ellipse, and let's add this here. But it's above, same on affinity. Drag and drop below, you'll be fine. Let's add a green. We made the, do you know this guy? Mike Awaski. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's very difficult to me. Let me reduce this stroke. I like this. I enjoy. And let's see. Let's animate and check. Yeah, that's it. Are you happy with that? Simple and effective in these terms. Simple and effective. Few shapes. I want to see you guys trying. And send to me. Send to the Vectorize Club. Okay? That's it, guys. I think I covered really the fundamental part, and I really enjoy it. There are a lot of things in extra that we can explore, but I'm still learning and very excited. This means that I'm gonna only do this. Nah, for now I'm excited to explore, to try and test. What about Blender? Well, there are gonna be weeks that I'm gonna do with Blender. There are gonna be weeks that perhaps I'm gonna use Affinity. And this channel, I want to have this kind of different things to do, because I love to do different stuffs. Because if I don't do, I get somehow bored. I like to learn. I don't know why. I'm a nerd. So yeah, that's very nice. What do you guys think about this? Did you enjoy it? This Anima Rive, my friend. Anima Rive. I will not attach my my stuff to the companies, because they don't support us too much. I need to pay everything. I never got any support from anyone. I mean, except my club, which is the best person on the world. But if I rely about these companies, dude, I would starve. Thank you guys for the support. Join to the club. I have plans to build a course, or as always, the way that I can retribute my people. When I say my people, is the people that support. Is to create courses to help you. I'll create a course about spine, fundamentals in spine, where I explain step by step, and from there, you guys can learn. You guys can practice. Let me break this screen. I think it's better. And it is important for you always to learn new stuffs. I think today there are many people getting layoffs and being replaced somehow. I don't know if it's because of AI yet, but it's not easy. With more things that you can do is better in these terms. You can provide more work, more possibilities, and for me, the animation skills help me to get a lot of jobs in my freelance career. If I relied only, I think, about illustration, it would be harder than ever. And I'm very grateful for the animations, because they open more opportunities. Because it's not everybody that do this, and being able to teach what I know, it is really nice. So join to the club. Recently I saw many people quitting. I think because of Blender, but uh, that's fine. I will do what I like and what I'm capable to teach better. What I see. But anyway, your support is really important. It's what keep me always do here. This channel. And that's it. I don't have much things to add, but I have plans now to add Rive app in my skill set. I mean, animations with Rive in my skill set. And you guys, as free users, you guys can still use this for fun to produce your stuffs, to play with it, to give more life, you know. And yeah, that's it. The pay to attention. Yeah, my friend, I'm going to pay to attention. Pay to attention. Pay attention. That's it. Thank you so much again, and I hope to see you next week. Let's do some exercises, animation exercises, playing with shapes. Also doing some vectors, perhaps in Affinity, doing stuffs, and place on here playing. I will teach you many things that I know. Join to the club because I will prepare awesome content inside for exclusive members. Guys, that's it. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you again, and see you next week. Bye. Take care.